People everywhere are starting to listen to him. He's going on French, British, Italian, Japanese television.
This is the Wide World of Weingarten.
Welcome back, Wide World of Weingarten. It is April 8th, just after opening day. Had a slightly extended hiatus from recording, partially because I was in Vegas for 6 days for BetBash, and then I came back, and I don't know if you know what happens after you spend 6 days in Vegas, averaging about 3 hours of sleep a night the entire time, but I got back Tuesday, and I was fine, and then by about Wednesday afternoon, my body just crapped out on me. I thought I might even have COVID, but took a test. I was negative. It was just the 6 days in Vegas inside the casinos, walking around, the activity, the talking. I talked more, in Vegas than I think I have in the last 2 years, which, it's a lot because I record a 30-minute podcast frequently. But the amount of talking I did, the loud talking, I had no voice. I couldn't really move. My girlfriend had to Theragun me a couple times yesterday just to get my legs working right. So as I was joking with Doug Kazarian, I guess getting old kind of sucks, but not that old. Just probably out of shape. But yeah, BetBash. BetBash was everything you heard it is or was, and better. I had the most fun I've had at any gambling event, since the early Sloan conferences when I met Gil for the first time, and a whole bunch of other people that I'm still friends with and do stuff with today. But this was a 350-person conference, and you had the opportunity to talk one-on-one with practically everybody there, including some of the, if not the biggest gambler in the world. Many, many, many respected bookmakers. I could go on forever, but I'll give you a couple people that I was able to talk to that I was really appreciative of. Richie Baglieri, Chris Andrews, Chris Bruno, who else? I'm trying to think. I got career advice from some great people. Dink, obviously Dink. I had a great time with Dink. Roxy Roxborough, his hospitality was incredible. I got to talk to just about every bookmaker in Las Vegas that I wanted to talk to. I got career advice from people that was, worth well more than the $500 I spent to attend. I got to talk to Spanky. And I had once said on Gil's show that Spanky is not one of my favorite people. I can now be pleased to report that Spanky is one of my favorite people, as what happens, when you spend time with somebody and, your perception of them changes. You get to see who they are one-on-one, and I'm glad to report that Spanky's a great guy, and you could tell he worked incredibly hard to put on this conference. He was, as everybody was wiped out and exhausted at the end, he was also wiped out and exhausted, but it was because he had put so much work into this, and anybody there could tell you that he worked his ass off to make this the best conference it could possibly be. Like I said, I met Richard Munchkin, another person that was absolutely worth the $500. So I totally just wanted to point that out. But everything about BetBash was great. I talked to and shook hands with and had conversations at least with 100 people there, if not more. And I could say literally every single conversation, every person I met was great. I had great conversations. There was literally only one asshole there. I don't know what his deal was, but of all the conversations I had, everything was positive, except one guy was just going out of his way to be a ridiculous asshole. And I don't really know what his deal was, but I could really just say that anytime you talk to 100 people and 99% of them are great and only one of them is an asshole, you should probably consider that a win. And was it Saturday night? I think there were 3 or 4 tables at 8 East, the Chinese place at Circa, that were full of gambling Twitter people. So I said it was like half of gambling Twitter was there eating dinner, and it was really true. I mean, I had at my table, 10 people that I knew, and I knew 10 people at the table next to me, and I saw, Plus EV Analytics was down at his table with a couple people, and it was just so great because a lot of these people I've met before, at Sloan or at other conferences. I might have met them 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And I talked to a lot of people. I have, DMs and text messages and conversations with people frequently. Some of them have been going on for years and years and years, but, I don't necessarily get to meet up with them in person very often, especially since COVID. So it was such a, it was a great experience to finally get out there and see a whole bunch of people that I hadn't seen in a very long time. And, like I said, almost to a person, it was, all positive. Everyone was talking about how great, everything everyone else is doing. And that I think was really one of the cool things, was in a whole conference full of 350 gamblers, I didn't hear once, oh, my model's better than yours. Oh, I win more than you. Maybe people were saying that behind other people's backs or something, but I was really surprised how little sort of competition talk there was. And for other gamblers, I think this is a really incredible experience, because one of my friends pointed out to me, he was saying, there's nothing he hates more than talking about gambling to people who don't gamble. People who say, oh, you're a gambler, tell me about it, what do you do? It sounds awesome, and then you have to explain a whole bunch of boring shit to people. But when you're around contemporaries at BetBash, you can have discussions about gambling that are actually interesting, because there's nothing I hate talking about gambling to my friends who aren't in gambling, because the questions are mostly stupid. So like I said, I guess I could tell you a couple other stories, or there's all sorts of stuff I could talk about BetBash, but really the only thing I thought was really funny was I got invited out to dinner on Friday night by some people I didn't know, and they're like, yeah, come to dinner with us, we're gonna go to whatever fancy restaurant, and you come and talk about baseball, and we would love to just talk to you about baseball and pick your brain. And in my head I was like, obviously these people know nothing about me, because if they did, they would know that there's absolutely nothing that I would despise and hate more than having to go out to dinner with people I don't know and talk about gambling. Like, even with other gamblers, like going out to eat with my friends, absolutely sounds great. Going out to dinner with people I don't know, where I'm going to have conversations, where I'm going to be expected to participate, sounds just absolutely so terrible that I describe it as, you are literally describing a nightmare to me. So I unfortunately or fortunately did not take those people up on that offer to talk to me about baseball during dinner, and I went out with Gil and a couple of my friends and had a great night. One of Gil's friends was there too. He was awesome. But yeah, don't invite me out to dinner if you don't know me, because I don't want to have dinner with people and talk about gambling. I'd rather just smash my head against the table for 2 hours and go home. But yeah, that's just something that came up at BetBash. Other than that, like I said, everyone was great. Only met one asshole, and that's the thing about assholes, is you never have to talk to them again. So BetBash 3 is going to be sometime next year, and if you have any interest in upping your gambling game and meeting people in the gambling world, I absolutely recommend spending the money to go. I'm sure it's going to be more than $500 this time. As these conferences get bigger, they tend to cost more money, but there's still time. BetBash 3 will probably still be excellent. It won't be till BetBash 6 or 7 or 8 that it probably turns into a Sloan conference, as is the nature of expanding conferences. But one of the great things about the early Sloan conferences is the one-on-one access, where you could go up to anybody. Like I was able to go up to Adam Silver and talk to him about how the NBA studies match fixing and point shaving, and he's explaining to me their whole integrity department and stuff. This was years ago, and he gave me his card, and it was just very cool because where else was I ever gonna get to talk to Adam Silver and get 5 minutes of his time like that? Great guy, by the way. I talked to Kiki Vanderway once. I talked to so many people at Sloan, Stan Kasten, and you could ask them anything you want, especially when it's the cocktail night, or if you find somebody at the bar and you get a couple drinks into them, you can get all sorts of info out of people at these conferences. So highly recommend BetBash 3. I don't recommend Sloan at this point. It's become garbage, more or less. There's not much you can get out of going to a MIT conference anyways. But that's my 10-minute recap of BetBash. It was amazing. It took enough out of me that I had to go lie down for a day and a half afterwards, but it was totally worth it. I can't wait to go back to Circa again. I've spent about 2 weeks, give or take, at Circa in the last month or so, and it's been a lot of fun. I've made a couple futures bets there. Had some good conversations with a lot of the guys who work there, and yeah, I have all great things to say about BetBash. Congratulations, Spanky, for putting on such a good event, and congratulations to everyone at Circa for all the work they put into making it such an excellent event. And having been there for sweet, I was there for the first 2 rounds of March Madness and the last 2 rounds of March Madness. They did an excellent job with the basketball tournament, and the sports book there is great. So congratulations to everybody involved in putting on BetBash. Everyone did a great job. Going to take a break real quick, and then I'm going to come back and overreact to opening day of baseball season. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back, Wide World of Weingarten. The MLB season finally got underway. I am slowly getting myself back into the regular season. I bet a couple props. I do have a couple sides that I bet that I'll give out at the end of this, but I thought the first thing we could do is overreact to the first 2 days of baseball. The first game of the first day of the season was Cubs beating the Brewers 5-4. Corbin Burns had 3 walks, 4 strikeouts over 5 innings, gave up a home run. I'm not going to put too much stock into these early games while guys are still getting stretched out. But excluding his 2-inning start at the end of last season versus the Dodgers, I think Corbin Burns only had 1 game all of 2021 where he had less than 4 strikeouts and he gave up a home run. So he's already 1/7 of his way, 1/7 of the way to his 2021 home run total. But like I said, I wouldn't discount any pitcher's first start of the season. If he's still doing bad 2 or 3 starts from now, then you can start asking what's going on if something happened. Royals 3, Guardians 1, first regular season game in Guardians history. 4.2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts from Shane Bieber through 72 pitches. Looked good. Just another guy who wasn't ready to go as deep as usual. 5.2 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and a strikeout on 84 pitches from Zach Greinke. He's not a strikeout guy anymore, not a threat for a Cy Young, but he can pitch quality innings. He'll give the Royals a lot of innings, and he'll be an interesting guy to watch this year. Not much to react or overreact to here. Bobby Witt hasn't had a home run yet, but still a lot of time. Cardinals 9, Pirates 0. Pirates are as bad as expected, if not even slightly worse. Brian Haynes left with a slight injury after being announced he signed a huge contract extension. It took Pirates' #1 starter, JT Brubaker, 68 pitches to get through 3 innings. It's going to be a long season for the Pirates. They just don't have anywhere near the pitching to eat the major league innings that they're going to have to throw. And Cardinals outfielder Tyler O'Neill announced his NL MVP candidacy with 2 hits and a career high 5 RBIs. He's a legit NL MVP candidate. Cardinals looked good, but they're not going to get to play the Pirates every day. So let's see how they look 5-10 games from now if we're going to get real hyped on them. Mets 5, Nats 1. Tyler McGill, 5 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, was pumping gas, hit 98 early, made people forget that Jacob deGrom is out again. But, yeah, he's a great addition to the rotation, especially with deGrom missing and Scherzer not at 100%. Mets look like a pretty good team through 2 games. Juan Soto hit his first home run, hit his first walk of his 2022 MVP campaign. Unfortunately, he's about a 3-1 favorite, so I don't have much interest in betting him. I liked him a lot better last year when we were getting 100, 150 plus to 1 there. The Reds opened the season with a win yesterday over the World Series champion Braves. Ronald Acuna came out earlier this week. I'm sure you saw it. He gave an interview in Spanish where they asked him what he's going to miss about Freddie Freeman, and he basically said, "I'm not going to miss anything about Freddie Freeman. They didn't get along. He thought he was overbearing." Acuna came out, said it was taken out of context, but Freddie Freeman didn't really deny anything, and the Spanish writers who were listening to the Instagram Live or whatever all said that Acuna was quoted correctly. Tried to downplay it, but at this point, Freeman's gone. It's Acuna's team, so it doesn't really matter. Braves reliever Spencer Strider was throwing 100. I think it was in the 8th inning, maybe the 7th inning. He had 5 strikeouts over 2 innings in the first game of the season. He could make some noise in the Rookie of the Year market. Devin Williams won, Craig Kimbrell won. He jumped from A-ball to MLB pretty fast, so it'll be interesting to see what type of innings limit the Braves give him. If I was looking for an MVP candidate on the Braves, I would definitely go with Austin Riley over Matt Olson. No offense to Matt Olson, but keep an eye on Riley's odds. He flew under the radar last year. He wasn't even in the MVP pool. I think he had to be added late in the year. Still kind of flew under the radar, even finishing with MVP votes. I would definitely keep an eye on him. If price drifts up maybe to 35, 40 to 1, I'll see what I could find later this week or next week. Not in a hurry to add anything right now after 2 games, but let's give it a week. Astros 3, Angels 1. Ohtani threw 4.1 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Was pumping 98 in the first inning, harder than he threw any game last year in the first inning, which is not surprising. He spent the offseason at Driveline with his catcher Max Stassi, so I knew he'd be serious about pitching this season. He's got a way improved pitch framer in Stassi, so that's something to look for. If I was making the odds in the ALSI market, I'd move Ohtani to about 9 to 1. See, Westgate's already adjusted to 10, which I think is reasonable. I can't really think of many, if any, guys in the AL I want ahead of Ohtani. Maybe Robbie Ray, but yeah, I think Ohtani is seriously live for Cy Young. Just got to keep it up. Got to limit the damage and limit the bad games. First of hopefully many home runs this year from Yordan Alvarez. Took Ryan Tepera, former MVP vote getter, deep. I have a bunch of runners in the home run pool, but one of my favorites is Yordan Alvarez. I have him a bunch of different ways, so I expect a lot more home runs out of him. He is a definite potential home run champion. Framber Valdez kind of got overlooked here going against Shohei Ohtani, but he threw 6.2 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, one walk, 6 strikeouts on 84 pitches. He's a Cy Young candidate, but his main problem is Justin Verlander as his teammate, so he's really going to have to outperform Verlander and Ohtani because they're in the same league. But maybe he's a guy I'd bet on at 100 to 1, but nothing lower than that. Not rushing out to bet Framber this early. Diamondbacks 4, Padres 2, same old Padres. They led the whole game right up until they didn't. Darvish threw 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Padres bullpen, who was missing Taylor Rogers, hadn't made it to San Diego yet, or hadn't made it to Arizona yet. Rewarded him by giving up a walk-off grand slam. Rookie Seth Beer hits the grand slam for Arizona. His Rookie of the Year odds before the game, 30 to 1. His Rookie of the Year odds after the game, 30 to 1. Good player. Don't get sucked into a bet just because some guy hits a home run on the first day of the season, even if it's grand slam. On to Friday. We had kind of split opening day. A couple of the games were on Thursday. Some of them got rained out, so I'm going to do Thursday and Friday together today. The Yankees 6, Red Sox 5, just when everyone wanted to start, just what everyone wanted to start this year, 11 innings of Yankees Red Sox. You really can't pay me to watch a Yankees Red Sox game, even if I have money on it. It just takes so long. It's like I equate watching a Yankees Red Sox game to being stuck on an airplane. Because it takes so long. You could fly halfway across the country by the time these guys are done playing the average game. I don't even watch them, like I said. I don't watch the Yankees very often, regardless of who they're playing. But Yankees, Red Sox, almost my nightmare, like going to dinner with people who want to talk to me about gambling. Garrett Cole gave up an early home run before he settled in, pitched 3 innings, 4 hits. He pitched 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 68 pitches. He's another guy who's just still not ready to go as deep as usual. Wouldn't downgrade him much on this performance, but he's a guy I'm absolutely looking to fade in the Cy Young market, especially with the hard schedule in the AL East. Tigers 5, White Sox 4, a blown save for Liam Hendricks. The White Sox, another team that were winning right up until the end when they weren't. Walk off for Javi Baez. Both teams' offense looked really good. Luis Robert, prime for a breakout. A.J. Pollock had 3 hits, but you could also probably argue that the White Sox could have used Craig Kimbrell today. Phillies 9, A's 5. Phillies are going to be a problem. Schwarber led off the game with a home run. Every Phillies player in the lineup got a hit except the number 9 hitter. I can see myself watching very few Oakland games. They just don't seem very interesting at all. Frankie Montas, not the same pitcher when he's not jacked up on steroids. Would not be surprised to see him traded for not very much because I don't see him having a lot of trade value if he continues to pitch like this. Although you also got to keep a little bit in mind, like I said, this is overreacting. So I'm overreacting to what I've seen based on one game. We'll, come back to these predictions in a couple weeks and see how accurate any of them are. The Rays won 2-1 over the O's. 3 hits for Wander Franco to start the year, all singles. He's definitely an MVP candidate, definitely a candidate to lead MLB in most hits. The power has not fully developed yet, but when he will be a perennial MVP player as long as he stays healthy. Shane McClanahan, 7 strikeouts, 4.1 innings through 68 pitches. He's elite. He'll be more elite when he builds up. He's part of my Cy Young portfolio. And Josh Lowe. Josh Lowe was on base twice via walk, struck out once. Promising start to the career. Started versus a left-hander. If he gets consistent playing time, he'll definitely be a threat in a very crowded AL Rookie of the Year race. I bet him at 190-1 last week. Westgate opened him 25-1, so I'm happy with those numbers. Dodgers 5, Rockies 3. Dodgers did all their damage in the 4th inning, scored 5 runs. Kyle Friedman got credit for all 5 base runners, and he probably pushed it as far as he could, especially at altitude, throwing 74 pitches. He almost got out of it, had 6 strikeouts right before he fell apart. I think the Rockies are going to be a decent team this year. They just have to not play the Dodgers all the time. Mariners 2, Twins 1. Robbie Ray, 7 innings on 96 pitches. That's actually a lot of pitches. He looks like he's ahead of a lot of other guys. 5 strikeouts, gave up only 3 hits, 4 walks. Great addition for the Mariners. They got an ace, reigning Cy Young guy who can set the tone with his performance. Definitely kind of one of those things you need to change the culture of a team and push you to the play. Rodriguez hitless in his first MLB game. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, won't be hitless for long. Byron Buxton, 4 at bat, 2 strikeouts. Trendy MVP pick, but not for me. I actually would prefer Carlos Correa over him if I wanted one of those 2 guys, and I do expect that if they both do play incredibly well, that they would end up splitting votes. And again, neither of them pitched, so not what I'm looking for. Giants 6, Marlins 5. I bet a little bit on the Marlins here, so I wasn't surprised that they blew it. Fortunately, by the time they blew it, it was nap time for me. Joey Bart hit a home run. He's a NL Rookie of the Year candidate. Some 10-1 prices or higher out there. Might be worth adding a little bit to your portfolio. Might have to take a look at that, but he's not. He's more of a guy I'm looking to fade. Although one of these days I'm going to have to sit down and kind of assess my positions again. I still have a stack of tickets from Vegas I haven't even added to my spreadsheet, so I got a lot of catching up to do still from Vegas. Bullpen blew it for both teams, but Marlins bullpen blew it twice. It's going to be the thing that holds them back this year. That and being cheap. Mets 7, Nats 3. Scherzer threw 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts on 80 pitches. He got 0 swinging strikes on his 4-seamer, threw it 15 times. The last time he didn't get a single swinging strike on his fastball in a start was May 3rd, 2010. So that's definitely something to watch going forward. Like I said, don't hold one start against starting pitchers, but keep an eye on it. If this keeps up 2 or 3 starts in, definitely something to consider. Blue Jays 10, Rangers 8. Apparently there was a lot going on in this game. Another game I slept through most of. Texas had a 7-run lead, lost 10-8. So another game that came down to bullpens. In the case of the Rangers, they got a bunch of rejects from the Dodgers organization: Dennis Santana, Josh Spores, banes of my existence when it came to AAA betting in previous years. So it's no surprise that they couldn't get the job done at the major league level. It's also no surprise that they're at the back end of the Rangers bullpen. The Rangers have a bunch of Dodgers front office people, so expect that any AAA guys that get DFA'd by the Dodgers, would not surprise me if the Rangers claim. It's just unfortunate that a lot of them aren't very good. That's why they're getting DFA'd in the first place. Blue Jays having a lead offense, but some concern for Jose Barrios, who was removed after .1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 earned runs, did not have any ability to locate his pitches from what I saw looking at some replays real quick. But didn't seem injury related. It was more like the manager just knew Barrios wasn't ready for MLB level regular season action, and he just decided to pull him and not waste more pitches. So I kind of respect that. Not a lot of managers would pull a guy like that after .1 inning. Again, just something to keep an eye on. Don't hold one start against anybody, but see what happens next 2-3 times out. Braves 7, Reds 6. Braves fans got the full Kenley Jansen experience already when he came in for the 9th inning with a 7-3 lead and left with a 7-6 save. Gave up 3 runs and made it closer than it should have been. It's going to happen a lot with the Braves this year, so good luck. Kenley comes in, live bet the over. Probably good advice. Astros 13, Angels 6. This game was a blowout. All 5 Angels pitchers gave up runs. I think the Astros hit 6 home runs, if I'm not mistaken. You can lose the first 2 games of the regular season without a problem, and the Angels can just reset after this Astros series and move on. But there will be a time sooner than later where the Angels could potentially fall far enough out of the AL West, and Ohtani could decide that he won't re-sign with the Angels. It would not surprise me if he does not re-sign with the Angels, because frankly I don't know anybody other than Mike Trout who wants to spend their career in Anaheim not winning anything. Ohtani's window to be the best player in baseball is not going to stay open forever, and it would absolutely not surprise me if he signs with a good team when his contract's up. And if it gets to the point, like I said, where the Angels are far enough out of the playoffs this year, you might have to consider trading him. I know, like I said, this is overreacting. So that's my overreaction. I'm going to need to find a book that'll book me Ohtani NL MVP in the event he gets traded to the other league. Joe Dell, 5 at-bats, 5 strikeouts, 2 bad defensive plays. He's early, not ready for primetime award winner. Obviously, 2 games, 5 at-bats, 5 strikeouts. Not going to send him to AAA for that, but he's a guy that the Angels are going to need to step up if they're going to score runs, because they're not going to be able to win with pitching, it seems, unless all their starting pitchers learn to pitch 9 innings. Astros, best run differential in baseball, +9 after 2 games, but again, not every game is going to be against the Angels. Kyle Tucker, though, he hit 2 home runs. I bet him for MVP at 40-1. Don't sleep on him as an MVP candidate. Might not be as sexy as of Vlad or Ohtani or whatever, but he's legit MVP. So don't sleep on that. If there's probably still some good prices, 20+ out there. Worst bets have been made. I got some in my portfolio. Padres 3, Diamondbacks 0. Another great game from Padres starter. This time bullpen came through. Sean Manaea, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. Bullpen didn't implode. Limited D-backs 2 hits. Rookie C.J. Abrams, he made his MLB debut. Reading off my sheet. Sometimes I fuck up words. C.J. Abrams, first start today in the starting lineup, batted 8th, went 0 for 4. Some nice defensive plays, 1 highlight throw. Padres might have a decision to make when Tatis comes back, who stays at shortstop. If Abrams forces himself to stay up, if he plays well enough to not get sent back to El Paso, I could definitely see Tatis making his way back and playing in the outfield first, especially if Tatis tries to come back earlier than expected. They might try to get him in the lineup as a DH outfielder before shortstop, although with the wrist injury he has, I don't expect it to be a sort of situation where they could rush him back like that. So, we got to keep our eyes on what's going on there. There's a lot going on with the Padres in terms of bets I have this year. I have Machado to win the MVP. I have Luke Voit most home runs, C.J. Abrams Rookie of the Year. I even have Fernando Tatis MVP at 300-1. So I will have my eyes on the Padres frequently. Good pitching through 2 games, but that first game was a disappointing walk-off loss for them. And like I said, I am still ramping up my MLB sides and totals for the year, but I did come away with 3 plays I like on Saturday. So bet the Mariners plus 129 at the Twins, Rockies plus 134 at home versus the Dodgers, and the Astros minus 121 versus the Angels. Really interested in this Astros-Angels game. It is Justin Verlander versus Noah Syndergaard, both guys who didn't throw very many pitches in 2021. This is the first time we're really seeing both of them healthy in a while. So I'm looking forward to that game the most. So thanks for listening. I think next episode will probably be Monday. Monday, probably some point. I couldn't tell you exactly when, earlier than later, but should not be very many gaps in programming going forward now that baseball's here and I am recovered from Vegas. So thank you for listening. I'll be back on Monday.